So I'm Zach. I'm the founder of Hashtag Expert Command and Caption Expert. I write a blog about helping people optimize their apps and make more money, all that kind of stuff. And today me and Jake, we're doing a little webinar where we're gonna go through a couple people's paywalls, see where there's room for improvement, where we think they can change colors, change font, change text, and how that can lead to them making more money, hopefully. And then the goal is for you to learn a thing or two, because after a while, you'll see that the changes we make are very similar across the different apps. So Jake,
I hope they don't all look the same. All the
I think it's like the principles will be the same. It's like make it more obvious what your benefit is, like not like color, but.
Oh yeah, so my name is Jake Moore. I am the CEO of FitnessAI. We went through Y Combinator last year. I'm a developer, a designer, a growth person, same as Zach. We met in WeWork 2-3 years ago, and we've been sharing trade secrets ever since.
Yep.
We both built our business to well over $1 million in ARR, and we're open books generally, so we're happy to do something like this.
Cool. All right, let's get started.
All righty. First up is barter. So just to preface, we don't know anything about any of these apps. We're not even are we gonna open the App Store listing before each one, or should we just go right into the app?
I think you can kind of just dive in, like show the onboarding, see what that's like.
Okay, barter. Oh, that's a different one. Card pointers.
Okay. So it starts off with a nice sign-in page. Sign with Apple is always really slick.
Have you implemented sign with Apple, Zach?
No, I haven't actually. Although.
Ooh, right into the paywall.
All right. Let's see.
I like it.
So I already like the buttons where they highlight the pricing. I like that's a very slick little selector view where you can select annual or monthly.
I do like that. I don't like how there's two big buttons with like equally prominent colors.
Yeah, it's like almost confusing. Like, is that annual thing like the button you're supposed to press, or start free trial? Like, which one is?
Right. So if you do press it, it does initiate the purchase, but I would definitely do something like this.
If you press the annual button, it starts the purchase.
If you press the annual, yeah, it starts the purchase.
Okay, so that's good. I think.
Let's see if you switch to monthly. So it, like what I do in FitnessAI, if you switch to monthly, it automatically initiates the purchase because you're sort of saving a step.
I would definitely make that change.
Another thing, like with card pointers, like it opened right to the paywall, which is really important, right? Because you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right? So if only 20% of your users are seeing the paywall, then it's like a multiplier that you'll have on conversion rates. But the best case scenario is to have a really long onboarding with a really high completion rate.
Yeah, like really butter the user up, explain to them what the benefits are, get them excited about the app, and then it's like, okay, you're about to cross the finish line, just start your free trial, and then you can cross the finish line.
Right. There's definitely like a very real sunk cost bias that users experience. So for this paywall, the only change I think I would make color-wise is I would probably do something like that on the
yeah, so it's like outlined, right? It's not the whole button's colored, it's just.
Yeah,
I agree.
I would outline it so that you could like really focus on the start trial button. I would add some padding over here.
Yeah, like a little bit more spacing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the spacing is an interesting point because like the overall the paywall does feel a tiny bit crowded to me. Like there's just a lot in your face, and the text, the fonts are really big. So there might be some optimizations you could do just in terms of like a UX, easy to read, easy to understand kind of way, where a talented UX designer could simplify things a little bit. Um, I think one thing that definitely stood out to me though is the text at the top, upgrade to Card Pointers Pro. So that to me is what you're telling the user is there's a pro tier. You don't need it because you don't need this pro tier to use the app. So if you want, you can upgrade to Card Pointers Pro. What I would prefer is something where you're saying, start your free trial to continue. So you make it seem like you almost need to use the free trial to use the free version of the app. Whereas the second,
Right.
okay, there's obviously a pro tier and a free tier. So I can just X this out and use the free tier and forget about this.
And then another old trick is you always use a bigger number. So I would say instead of 1 week free, I would say 7 days free.
Yeah. And then you definitely want to show the monthly annual price there, or the monthly or the weekly annual price. So like what is $30 a year is, what is it, like 50 cents a week or something, 70 cents a week. So showing that weekly price just puts it into a better context for the user. So then you hear that and you're like, oh, that's really not that much money. You see $30, you're like, okay, do I want to spend $30 right now? No, that feels like a lot. But the second you show it as 70 cents a week billed annually, in parentheses, the full price, then it becomes, oh, okay, this is really, when you think about it, not a ton of money.
To give a big shout out to Bravo for sponsoring our Paywall webinar. Bravo is this really, really cool tool that I've actually looked at pretty closely. Basically, for me as a developer, there's this big struggle when you're advertising a lot to get that revenue from Apple right away. So typically, if you make your money from Apple in January and then you have to wait until, March essentially to get paid by them. And it can be an issue if you're spending a lot of money on advertising, like I always am, and you have this giant Facebook invoice due, right? So what Bravo will do is say, okay, we're connected to your App Store Connect account. We know how much money you're going to be getting from them. Here, you can take the money for a small fee and use it as soon as you need. And you can take as little as you want or as much as you want. So you can take nothing 1 month and then the next month take a lot more. So I think it's actually this really powerful tool to have in your toolbox if you are spending a lot of money on advertising, as I know a lot of people who watch the webinar and a lot of the people who are reading my blog are. So I would highly recommend taking a look at Bravo. We have a special link that's going to be in the description, which you can use to get some sort of discount. Big shout out to Bravo. They also have a lot of really cool analytics products that will show you analytics on your subscription metrics and your revenue in general, which is really always helpful to get insights into that. You know how much I love analytics and how important I think that is. So I would highly recommend taking a look at Bravo. Their website is getbravo.com. Take a look at their products. See if you think there's anything that could be useful there. They're really building this kind of financial toolkit for app developers, which we need for sure. So thank you again, Bravo.
So for the top text, we would say like, start your 7-day free trial. Oh, this is another tip. It may not look right, but text that's written like a sentence is the easiest to read, as opposed to something like this, which is much harder to read on the eye.
Yeah,
even though it looks more.
Yeah, every word can make it a little bit trickier to read.
So we would do start your 7-day free trial.
All right, let's look at the text now, like the actual bullet points. All right, so I feel like my issue with the text is that I don't fully understand what the app is helping me with, right? So like, just zooming out a sec, what is Card Pointers Pro about? Or Card Pointers, what is the purpose of this app? It's
right. I think what you're getting at is that these need to clearly and concisely say what value you're getting.
Yeah, like, is it helping me?
So like
card points, is it like where is the benefit, and how does the app deliver that benefit? Like, I see this and I'm just a little confused at how this app's going to help me with my life.
Support indie app development and help bring new features to the app. Disable card recommendations. What does this even do, honestly?
Yeah, let's like just pull up the App Store listing.
Oh. The screenshots look nice.
Yeah, those are really good screenshots.
Card pointers will save you money and earn you more cash back, points, and miles every day by maximizing credit card spend bonuses. Yeah, so the bullet points should read something like, make the best use of your credit card points.
Right. Yeah, it's almost like the paywall text should be more like the app description almost, especially if you're showing it early in the onboarding, right? It's like, teach me as a user what the benefit of this app is. Like this paywall almost assumes I already am very familiar with the app and I already know all the free features. Whereas on first launch, and this is maybe you even want to have a separate paywall on first launch versus the one you show after you've been using the app for a while. On first launch, you should be teaching me, explaining to me how I can benefit from this app, how it works also. What is the high level functionality of this app?
So like set up the dashboard just the way you want it. The reason you'd want to set up your dashboard is because you'll have better access to the information that matters, right?
At a glance, understand how your credit card points are doing across different.
So like make better spending decisions with a custom dashboard, right? Because you're completely value driven from the start.
Right. I would almost add make better spending decisions with the custom dashboard. Just those two words don't really mean much to me. It's like, what is it a dashboard of? It's like with a high level overview, or it's with a macro scale, with a high level understanding of your credit card points or something, or a unified credit card points dashboard.
Yeah, like with
it's like it's
I like high level overview.
Like you're bringing it all together in one place for me. So like for me as the user, I can immediately picture, oh, that's kind of cool. Like instead of having to go to 10 different sites to see where my credit card points are, I can just go to this one place and see it all.
Totally. I would
get rid of the indie app one, I think.
I think I would too. Get rid of this one. And then you could add more white space between these so that it's easier to read. And also I would make these colors black with like a really low opacity to draw more attention to the color down here. I would also change this to white. You basically want the button that they're going to press to be almost the only thing that has color on the page.
Mm-hmm.
Zach, what do you think? Zach, you have like a wildly colorful paywall.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think the key is, even if you do add color, like you just want to emphasize the button you want the user to press though. Yeah, I mean, I think the purple icons are fine personally. Like you could add a slight alpha to them so they're not as prominent. Or another thing you could do is like try to use certain color triggers to like you can use greens and yellows to like make the users feel like they're saving money and get that dopamine hit almost when they see the paywall, where it's like, oh, just subscribe and you get ABCD. So
pull up my paywall.
Overall, I think I'd be curious to see how these changes affected their monetization. But I mean, I think overall it is a pretty good one. I would say it's definitely like pretty well optimized already.
I think it definitely looks. It reminds me a lot of my paywall. Oh, it's a different one that I'm showing here. But yeah, like just for reference, this is my paywall. There's almost no color on it. There's one button. You're telling them exactly what to do up here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like it's so simple, and the user's already gone through that onboarding process, so they're kind of
they know what they're getting.
They know what they're getting. Okay. Should we give the next one a shot?
Yeah, let's do it. Photo frame. Let's start with Kevin.
Alrighty, we're back on.
Ready to go?
Yep.
You just do a reset.
Oh, Mike.
Okay.
The suggestion.
Digital photo frame slideshows. 211 ratings, a miraculous 4.8 star rating. Pretty good screenshots.
Oh yeah, I like this. The feature thing.
I love these.
These are really good. Yeah. Wait, so what does the app do essentially? I missed the first couple screenshots.
The most gorgeous slideshow app for iPhone. Relive your best moments. Professional way to showcase your images to clients.
Okay.
It's like a slideshow player. With these underlines over here, it's kind of like just the first one is underlined. I would underline like the value, like why is play underlined here?
It's not really the first word you're trying to optimize. You're trying to highlight. You're trying to highlight the benefit that you want me to understand from the app. So like make a slideshow in seconds. That's the kind of thing you want to highlight.
I would maybe also try to keep it to like 2 lines of text instead of 4.
It's like a little overwhelming. You also got to see how it looks like in the app store, in the search results. But
yeah.
All right, you want to crack it open?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, we're gonna. Nice selfie.
Thank you. So, digital photo frame. Wow, I do not know if my photo library is
Yeah, do you want to
fully clean right now.
hold that for a sec?
Just kind of say what, okay, yeah. Let me see.
If you want, we could just go to a different app. It's not photo video.
That's okay. Alrighty, so here we have a long exposure album.
So notable, when you downloaded the app, it didn't prompt you to subscribe, correct?
Right. Yeah, there was no
So like here's a big issue. Like we're already, 30 seconds to a minute into using this app, and we still haven't seen anything about a premium tier. We have no idea there's a premium tier for this app. So if you think about it from the perspective of a free user, when would they, and here it is. Okay, so now we see if you go to settings.
Yeah, that's way too.
So
you have to go into settings and then tap the subscription plan. Although you might see it. Let's see if you see it. No.
So what I would do is honestly add a banner at the bottom of that home screen, right? So can you go back to close this. At the bottom where albums is, I would add a banner that's static that just says subscribe to get the best features or something, like start your free trial today. Like just something that highlights that there's a pro tier for this app so that the user always understands that.
Yeah, or even like, I think right over here would make a pretty good, or you know what, I think I could do, yeah. Right over here would be good.
Oh, how are you doing that?
There's like a little toolbar you could mess around with.
Yeah, I agree. I think like something on this home screen so that every time you open the app, you see that there's a free tier, I think would be super helpful. And I think actually InstaSize does something similar to that. All right, so let's dig into that actual paywall. Let's see what. So I think we're kind of seeing some similar issues in this paywall where there's like a lot of visual stuff that's grabbing your attention, like the subscribe now button's pulling me, the buy now button's pulling me.
Oh, you could swipe over here.
Oh, you can? Okay.
Yeah, I would definitely make this a list.
Like if you're gonna have multiple plans, that's fine, but make it so that there's almost one gets the check mark and then the other one's there and you can tap that and switches the check mark. So
yeah,
from them. Otherwise here, it's kind of like overloading to see that those two giant subscribe buttons.
Yeah, I agree. $10 a year is pretty cheap.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about pricing now. Yeah. I think the truth is if somebody's willing to spend $10 a year, they're probably willing to spend 20 or 30 even. So I think I would definitely be curious to see how raising that price to 30 or 40 ends up affecting things.
Right.
And
So let's talk about copy. Get the best from your device and turn it into a powerful photo frame.
and so I think the center alignment makes it a tiny bit hard to read. Like with blocks of text, you normally want to make them either, left aligned. So it flows better. And, that's what your eyes are used to following.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. So for this, I would change the text to turn your iPhone into a powerful photo frame. And I would remove the display memories with ease.
Mm-hmm. I would also be interested in, this is a good example of where having survey data is super helpful, because if this guy was surveying his users all the time, he'd understand what the main benefit these users are getting from his app are. So maybe it's making slideshows in 10 seconds instead of 10 minutes, or it's just having a good way to organize all your slideshows. Then once you understand from your existing users what the main benefit they get from the app is, you can highlight that in the paywall.
Yeah, the superhuman question is, who do you think would benefit most from an app like this? And then you get your customers to basically write your value prop from the perspective of a user who loves your app, right?
So Mike is asking, what are our thoughts on lifetime pricing?
Well, it depends. First of all, you're turning your like a consistent cash flow into one lump sum up front, which could be great for user acquisition. But if you do stuff like some businesses have like variable costs that just come along with keeping a user satisfied. Like I do a ton of customer support. So if I do lifetime access, all that lifetime support I'm giving them, I'm never going to be paid for it again in the future. And if they use it forever, they get that forever. So I'm a little against it. But I mean, if this person's 3-year retention is anything less than what is it, 20, like 80%, like if he's retaining 90% year over year.
I also think it depends on the type of business you're trying to build, right? Like if you see this app as just like kind of a utility app, like an impulse buy that somebody's going to use like once and then never use again, like you're not trying to build essentially a SaaS business where you have this recurring model and like you build up this foundation of these users who subscribe for years and years and years. It can be a good way to supercharge your cash flow in the early days of your business, right? Like imagine year one of FitnessAI, you just offered a super expensive lifetime and you got like hundreds of dollars up front from all these customers. And it wasn't like, it was a relatively small amount of people. It's like 1,000 people, that could be an amount of capital to use to fund your business.
Absolutely. So I would say if this person is advertising on Facebook and they need to recoup some sort of investment, 100% it's worth it. Also, if the present value of the lifetime access, like if the revenue they get up front is greater than 90% of the people after 3 years, then I would say just go for it.
Yeah, I mean that is the other thing. Like it is really a mathematical equation, right? It's
yeah.
Or does your average subscriber annually subscribe for 2 to 3 years, or will you make more money from the lifetime? Like if you price it correctly and you make the price so substantial that it'll definitely be higher than your LTV from a normal annual subscriber, I definitely think it can make sense. But like the second you're approaching serious scale, you have employees, you have tens of thousands of customers, there's no way Slack would ever offer a
right.
Like you can't, once you're a serious business, you can't really do that. But
also, if you're going into like VC world and you plan on raising money, that multiple that they're going to assign to you is based on MRR because they're assuming that you're going to keep improving your product so that people stay around forever. So you kind of lose like all the added MRR that you would get from those people if it's lifetime.
Yeah. All right.
So it just depends, I suppose, right?
Like everything, it depends. Do you have any more thoughts on this paywall though?
I didn't.
Okay. But yeah, I think that the key takeaways on that one were for me, simplifying the design so that's easier to read, and just working with a basic UI designer there could have them just fix the fonts and the sizes and the text so that it's easier to read, and then making sure the bullet points are informed by data from users. Like, what are your user reviews? What are people actually saying?
Yeah.
Why do they love it? Oh, it saves me time. Oh, it's easy to use. Oh, it's the cheapest. Maybe that could even be your value proposition, but that's the kind of thing you want to put in your.
Also, I would remove the slider and just do bullet points.
Yeah, I think like this, it was a little unintuitive that it was, you could slide on it.
Also, sorry to go back. For an app like that, there's probably a specific use case that's not immediately obvious to us that people just like absolutely love it for.
Right. Like it could be.
It could be like grandparents having pictures of their like grandkids on an old iPad.
Right. Yeah. It really depends on the demographics. Like you definitely want to do a deep dive on that.
Yeah. All right, for this one, could definitely. Oh wow, they wrote a custom keyboard.
Oh, that's really cool.
That is pretty cool. I would definitely update these a bit, just to put like value props on them, and
right. Like you want
to go on Upwork and just have them have two people redesign your screenshots and just use whatever they send you.
Yeah, I think like the key takeaway in the screenshots is it's not just showing them what the app does, it's telling a story and like understanding what their problem is as a customer and what their use case would be, and then explaining how this app will help them do that. So like, is this app for musician students, or is it for students? Is it for professionals? Like, how does it help them do their job easier? That kind of thing that you want to show in the screenshots.
Oh wow, they have a setting
that you can't record.
No, it's like a screen share setting. They probably have it so like you could put your iPad up maybe, or I'm not really sure.
Are you gonna be able to show it, or?
No, we aren't going to. But just here. There's a demo mode. Okay.
Okay,
so yeah, first off, there's no paywall anywhere.
I think like another thing that immediately stood out to me about like when you open the app is, well, this is the demo mode though, right?
No. It's just so you can turn on screen recording.
Okay. The app feels empty the second you open it. Like there wasn't really.
It does, yeah.
I see all this data. There's nothing here. I don't really know what to do. So this is kind of cool, right? So like this setting screen, I would almost put this at the top of that home screen, right? Where you say, there's a button I can press this to understand how the app works.
Oh, here it is.
Well, that's kind of cool, the 5-day trial thing. Wait, it's an in-app purchase though? What is it, for $0?
Oh, wow.
It's
an in-app purchase for $0. I wonder what the logic is there.
I kind of understand the tendency to try to do things that like really, really go out of your way to be nice to the user, like something like that, where it's a non-commitment 5-day trial. But you are always, trying to figure out where you want to be on that spectrum of being super nice and not making money and being obviously too aggressive with your pricing. So I think I don't know if I'm necessarily a fan of that, unless you are super confident that the second people experience your product, they will be so inclined to convert. Like this is honestly, you're putting your money where your mouth is. You're like, I know this app is so freaking good that I don't even need you to commit to subscribing after the free trial. I know you're going to like it. So if you have numbers that support that data and you believe you will end up getting people to pay, I think it can build rapport with your audience, but at the same time, you are for sure leaving money on the table. Would you agree with that, Jake? Like, do you think you're leaving money on the table with something like that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I get the point. It's like you're starting a trial that doesn't automatically renew, which isn't something that Apple offers.
Mm-hmm.
But then I don't know why. I don't know what the point is. I don't know what the point of having it. Maybe it's just like to get them used to doing an in-app purchase, or like getting them to commit to something.
Yeah, I think if you are going to make them jump through the hoop of like, confirming the in-app purchase, entering their Apple ID password, maybe it does make sense to just make it a regular free trial.
Yeah, I really don't know. I would also probably highlight this one in blue with the blue background.
Yeah, it's like, it's also not clear that these are like, it's not super clear that they're buttons. Like somebody who is technical would be like, oh yeah, I can probably tap this. But the light gray color doesn't really convey to me something I can tap. No action on it. Like it should say subscribe for $44.99 a year or something.
Yeah, so for this one, I would get rid of this.
Yeah, agreed.
I would turn this into like bullets. I'd get rid of the nav bar, but just have a floating done button.
So obviously we want people in this situation to take the yearly option because that's how you get the most money up front. So I would, if you really want to be generous, just make it a 14-day trial with the yearly. Like you can, you don't have to give them a free trial with no conversion value. Give them a 14-day, a 30-day if you really want to.
You could also tell them, like I saw what Netflix did a while ago, is on their paywall page, it shows you like a timeline of your 30-day free trial. And then it shows you 3 days before the trial ends that they're going to notify you.
Yeah.
But you could do something similar. You could just notify them right before the subscription starts.
Yeah, like if the goal is to minimize the amount of people who convert accidentally, there are tools in your toolbox to do that.
Totally. Yep. That's a great way of saying it. All righty, moving on.
But yeah, I mean, you can move on. I would just say for this paywall, some of the other things that stuck out to me, it's like, just feels a little boring. Like, I think you could be a little more exciting with colors or with the copy to really get me, riled up about why this is such a cool product and why I do want to subscribe and why the pro tier is so much better than the free tier. And then the same thing of always showing the paywall on first launch. So that was another thing that stuck out to us.
I definitely think that like this is giving a lot of value to the exact, like to the right person, right? Like if you're somebody who likes to just play the random piano in the room the second they walk into it, like they're gonna want to have all their music with them, and I think they would pay for it. Like if you're just spontaneously playing a piano, it's because you want people to hear you play, right? So I think like if there's some vanity in that. Right. And I think people pay for vanity. Like, I think people would pay so that more other people could hear them play more piano.
Yeah. So it's like almost you want to, in your head, think about what is the aspirational user of this app trying to do? They're trying to be a better musician, be able to perform in front of more people. Maybe that is what you want to highlight the same way Nike highlights all the cool athletes. You highlight this is what the cool piano player looks like, and this is what they use to manage all their music. That's another.
I think the value is like spontaneously play all your music anywhere, impress your friends.
Yeah,
like that kind of, become a head turner. That's I think you need to play off people's ego.
Yeah, agreed.
Burpee Hero.
Burpee here. Wait, is this the guy who always? There's some guy on Twitter who tweets about doing burpees every day.
Is it Ben Noland?
It might be.
Okay. Turn burpees into a game. I think that's great. Maybe you could like spice up the font a little. This looks like Arial.
Yeah, I'm still thinking of that same the font alignment thing. So like go back to that first one. Like
Yeah,
that
left align.
right aligned text there, I think is definitely a little hard to read. A little straight.
Yeah, I would just left align everything, right?
Yeah. You could do left align or center align if it's one line of text.
Yeah. So your is actually capitalized in a header. I always thought that it was, I mean, is not, yeah, I always thought it was lowercase, but it is capitalized.
If you're going to capitalize it. I mean, if you just
if you're going to.
Yeah.
Get better over time.
That I like. That's really cool. Like just that.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's really awesome.
Something that works at FitnessAI is get stronger faster. So you could say like, you know, get better faster. I think it might
get better faster. Right. I mean, I think like just the premise of this app is really cool. Like that already caught my attention. This one,
yeah.
I honestly put this one, that last screenshot further up.
This one?
Yeah, because that almost reminds me of Sweatcoin, where it's like you do burpees and you get rewards for doing it.
Yeah.
That turns it into a game almost, where it becomes a lot of fun.
Do you know on Sweatcoin, all of their partners pay to be there?
I did not know that.
They approached me once to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to become an advertiser.
Yeah.
So people basically collect currency and then spend it on vendors who are paying to be there.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine like that. That's how it works for them, right? Because otherwise, they were just.
Okay, so this looks like a fun game you can play if you just want to do like just get active. If you're like not working out and you want to just during these hard times, the world needs a hero. Oh, it wasn't immediately obvious that you need to tap. What shall we call you? I would also lower the opacity on the background because this is like really hard to.
It's a tiny bit hard to like. I like the idea of adding this kind of onboarding. Like I think it's cool, but definitely adding a little button that says continue would make it a bit easier to just to understand what's going on.
Yeah, and the shadow up top so you can see the status.
This design, I think, this seems to me like it's just classic indie developer design, right? Like you can tell this wasn't done by a professional. So I think like it's all right, of course, to do this in the first versions of your app, but just always be aware of like usability, opacity, like this text easy to read, this the status bar visible. But I think an app like this would definitely benefit from getting a professional design from a talented UI designer.
Yeah. These buttons could be bigger. Also, you can override the hit test so that if you tap slightly outside of the button, it also registers because these are hard to aim for. I do the same thing where I personalize like crazy and I try to make it so that users know that a person made this, not some big company. And that's worked for me a lot. Have you ever tried that, Zach? You have tried that, right? With like your pop-ups that come up?
Yeah, I mean, that does amazing for me. So like I have these very personalized messages I'll send that looks like it's coming directly from the founder to you. And there will be a call to action where I ask you to leave a review or answer a survey. And I get really good, conversion rates from that. So I think anything that conveys like in a professional way, but saying, this isn't made by some corporate company. Okay, so this is, I think, like the first thing that stuck out to me here is again like text, right? So like the second I see upgrade, the second I see cancel button, it just puts into my head, this is optional. I can just totally forget about it. I think making a cancel button not appear immediately, so I'm forced to see this for a second. I think that could be valuable. And also putting it as part of the onboarding. This could even be a separate paywall where you go through that onboarding and then it's the last step. It's the same kind of design. It's like one more step, subscribe. And then maybe there's a subtle skip button. So
or scroll down to skip. People who aren't indie developers don't know what an indie developer is.
Yeah. I mean,
Like if my mom saw support an indie developer, she'd be like, where are they from? Like.
yeah, I mean, I don't think it hurts. Like, number one, I'll say I don't think it hurts. Number two, I just don't think it's helpful. I mean, maybe
You could do support our team of one and then a smiley face.
something like that. Yeah, support our hardworking team. Buy our team a coffee. Something like that makes it a little bit easier to understand. But again, here I think that the benefits, the fact that we haven't used the app already, we don't really understand what these benefits are. It's not clear what is better, what are the rewards. I'm not even familiar with them yet. So I think you want to phrase the copy in the paywall, the bullet points, as if the user hasn't really experienced the product yet, if you're going to show it to them on first launch.
Yeah, so first up, change the top text to exactly what you want the user to do in that moment. So either say like
subscribe to
subscribe to continue, or finish your life, something about the lifetime, if that's the one. Also, most people are righties, so this button is going to be the easiest to tap. This one.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So if that's what you're going for, great. And then definitely use a different color for the background on the one that you want them to tap. Do like a sentence case. So the E and the R are lowercase here. You don't need to include this anymore.
Yeah, correct. I think you're missing also the restore purchases, which I think I always like to throw that on the paywall.
If you're already subscribed, you can restore purchases in settings.
Okay. But yeah, so that text, right? Like, I think it's almost a waste of space to put that where it is. Like, that should be all the way at the bottom, because it kind of breaks up the natural flow of your eyes when you're reading this. It's like, I see Train Smarter, I read the bullet points, then I see the plans, and then there's a weird, almost out of place block of text in the middle. So I would throw that at the bottom. I would make the no commitment to cancel any time bigger and more prominent, actually.
Yeah.
You feel more comfortable about subscribing. And then I would put the plans, the plan. Here's another big issue. Like, the plans is from the UI design. It's not clear they're button, right? Because the same color pattern as the bullet has that same color.
Right.
So it's not even clear that I can tap it. So you really want to, like we said on the other paywalls, make that button super prominent, give it a different color, add an action to it so it says subscribe for 12 months or something. Like, it's just not clear it's a button.
Yeah, I totally agree. And then also switch these to value-based. So like better event rewards, I would change to motivate yourself with better rewards. Instead of training workout timers, I would say train harder with timers. Compete with friends, right, instead of leaderboard.
Yeah, it's like you have to reverse engineer the benefit from these bullet points. So bench
from the feature. Yeah, what does the feature give you?
Yeah, ask yourself the question: what benefit does this give the user? Compete with friends and see who's more athletic or something like that.
All right, Zach, I think I have time for one more.
All righty.
Coachy, or should we do coachy?
Let's ask the people in the chat if there's anyone they want us to do.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Guys, if you want us to review your paywall and you submit it on the type form, just type the name of your app out in the chat and we'll try to get to it right now. All right, we got mindful affirmations. Oh, we got a couple. I don't know how we choose. You have those downloaded? Oh, you have affirmations downloaded.
Replica I should have also. Well, let's try to do both.
All right. Well, we'll do a speed run. Oh yeah, you do have both. Okay, Replica. Listening
to positive affirmations can help you break negative thought patterns. I love it. You're instantly getting a value prop.
I love it all.
We didn't even have to open the App Store page, and we know what this app is about.
One thing that it looks like there's two spaces though between the U and the break. That just like immediately stuck out to me. Like it looks like there's
Yeah, there is. There is an extra space.
the spacing between words looks a little off. I love this already.
So the key, I would just switch this. The key is to listen regularly to make your brain used to positive thoughts
Yeah, like
instead
this
of in order to.
grammar here could definitely be cleaned up a little bit.
Yeah.
Which is the kind of thing like I started working with a copywriter recently. It's just like essentially a lady who's an expert in English and just edits copy. And
There's
like it's a
that
very
is yeah, it's low hanging fruit and it's a fixed cost. So you do it once and you reap benefits forever.
yeah. So I would just like if English isn't your first language, or maybe you're not a grammar.
What if it is?
Well, if it is, then okay. I mean, it's a very difficult thing to figure out. There's so many damn rules, but it's so easy. So it might be worth your time. All right, let's.
It's insane how talented certain people are at writing copy and how much of a difference it makes. Leah, listen to pre-recorded affirmations or record and listen your own voice. I would make the let's get started. I would just add padding on the left and the right.
Yeah, I would make the button a little bit bigger, and I'd honestly get rid of the let's, right? Like just get started.
Yeah.
Like you almost
So what's this finish button?
buttons to have,
Okay, got it.
you want all your button verbs to be in the same kind of tense, where it's like not let us get started. It's just get started. Subscribe.
Okay, so this is great. Like you immediately see a value prop. Crap, I wish I could do that again. You immediately see the value prop and then you get hit with the paywall.
Yeah. Do you want to pull it up again?
I don't know if I can.
All right. So, well, this is an issue, right? Like the fact that
Settings.
we can't find the subscription button, right?
Well, okay. This is like a very, I think they did a great job of showing the user what this app is all about in the first few seconds. Like you sort of get it. It's about hearing like affirmations.
I agree.
I think it would be really cool if you heard an affirmation right when you open the app.
Oh, that's a great idea. That's
like hear a preview.
Yeah.
Right. You could instantly understand what it is.
Put into the onboarding, right? Like it's
yeah, in the onboarding.
Yeah. I agree.
I would also be stealing a ton of stuff from Calm.
Wait, so tap on one of these premium plans.
Yeah.
What happens if you okay, let's look at this. So I think definitely add it. So like he says that there's a subscription button on the home screen. You just have to scroll down a bit more. I think
move that way up top.
I would literally put that out as a banner at the top. There it is. Okay.
Yeah, and also this looks like it looks the same as every other element. So it just feels like another.
It doesn't grab your eye as much as I think it should.
Yeah, put a huge yellow button up top right over here.
Agreed.
That says start your free trial. Or you could put it over here in between with like a lot of padding. White space is the easiest way to draw attention to something. So like if you put 40 pixels of padding and a 75-point height button that says start free trial, I think that would be, or become a member.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, let's see it.
Yeah, let's look at it.
This looks great off the bat. I mean, there's one that's clearly more prominent than the other.
I think I'm in the same spot where like I'm looking for a continue button here. Like just tapping the plan subscribe me.
Right. Yeah, there's no like there isn't a button.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's a button here. But like I feel like we're tearing this down, but like across the board, this is excellent. Like this design is really awesome. Like you have this unique cartoon style going for you that's like very catchy. I think across the board, this is a very good paywall. But we're just
I would add a checkbox here, and then like a huge yellow subscribe button here.
Or honestly, I would not use yellow. If you're going to use yellow for the highlighting.
Oh no, I would. Yeah, no, I would make this a border, white with a border.
Yeah, and like maybe even a darker yellow, so it's more prominent.
Yeah, totally agree. Also, yellow on white is pretty. It's a little ballsy.
You could use that blue color you use for the font for the continue button.
Yeah.
That's what I would do probably.
And maybe just like after a second, you can just pull one of these so that they know they could swipe or something.
Yeah, like just auto scroll them.
Yeah. Yeah. Or you can start all the way right and it could scroll right when they open.
1 and 2, right? So scroll to the second one. That to me is the biggest value proposition right there. The fact that I get full access to the library. I would probably make that the first one. Or you can, I mean, this is another thing where you can lean on your survey data. Ask your pro what their favorite feature is, and then make that the first thing.
I would definitely keep track of which page is shown when the person is subscribing.
Yeah, definitely add that as like an analytic parameter when people subscribe. It's like which.
Yeah. Okay. Last one?
Yeah.
Replica?
Oh, Kevin's saying my sound.
Ooh. That's gorgeous. I love that.
Okay.
I mean, I love the UI and UX. That is really beautiful.
See it one more time. Yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool. Oh, look what he said. It's open source.
Oh, nice. I would switch the well, I would change up the copy here.
Yeah,
I mean, simple start in 2 steps. That could apply to any app.
It's the same kind of thing where you want to, in this screen, explain to me the benefits of the app. How does this help me? Like, is this,
and maybe instead of continue, you can do something like what if you're that's really cool, and they just tapped it, or like something.
Yeah, you could do
something.
9 by Taco Grills on Spotify.
Alexa. Sorry, guys. 1 sec. Alexa.
Guys, if you have any feedback based on what we've been doing so far, feel free to.
I know.
We're kind of doing this as a test run. We are recording it though, so maybe we'll make it the official one because I think this went really well. But if you have any feedback, I know somebody's commented about my audio not being amazing, so I'm sure we can try to investigate that. All right.
So yeah, if they took like, if you take advantage of that first screen to really just drive home what the app does, the value props, and then they hit on something like I'm interested, and they're like actively saying like I like the sound of this, then you hit them with the paywall. I think you'd get a lot more people converting. Is this person on right now? What's the conversion rate on this paywall?
Yeah, that person is. But yeah, I think it's the same kind of thing with the bullet points, right? It's like custom controls, remove advertising. I would turn.
Yeah, 17%. That's great.
Oh, that is really good. Yeah.
How do people know about,
So wait, this has 23,000 ratings? Or is that?
Are you advertising, Tiago? It's just started with search ads. 2.2 thousand ratings. Okay, yeah, this is like probably there's something specific that the user is trying to do, it seems like a lot of people are gaming, or like there's maybe one person is gaming, and ratings, not review. One person's gaming, and all their friends could watch in the same room on the TV.
Right. Yeah.
So a few things here, just like minor things. I would increase this padding right over here to even up the spacing.
Yeah. This is another thing where like here the grammar looks a little off. Like it should be start your 2-week free trial, and the capitalization's a little bit off, right? So like
start your 14-day free trial.
Start your 14-day free trial, or start your 2-week free trial, but like weeks should not be capitalized.
This should say, instead of try premium, it should say start your 14-day free trial up here.
I think you could probably increase prices too, right? So you're doing $20 a year here. I would just, instead of doing a 6-month subscription, you could either do an annual for $20 or an annual for like 30 or 40 even.
I would try 99 cents a week.
A weekly subscription?
Yeah, I think a lot of people playing are subscribing are kids. I mean, I don't know. It seems a little mischievous.
You need to look. I don't think it has to be. Like, you just kind of need to understand how people use the app. Like, is this the kind of thing where I download it, I use it for a week, and then I delete it and don't use it again for a year? If so, okay, then maybe a weekly pricing makes sense. If
like I've seen my cousin, like my little cousin, like one person has an iPhone, they're all fighting over who gets to play, and everybody else is watching on the TV.
Okay.
I'm assuming, am I right? Is that the primary use case, Tiago?
I do think the design is kind of slick. It looks very Apple-esque.
Yeah.
I think the reviews.
I'm also curious if these reviews are hard-coded, or if he's using like the App Figures API, maybe. Oh, more options. Hard-coded. What's a meter to paywall?
Like, you pay as you use it or something?
This is cool. How the colors sort of transition.
Yeah.
Is that across? No, it's just that.
One thing this paywall does have going for it is like, it's very easy on the eyes. Like, the contrast in the colors makes it very clear where my attention should go. And you are directing my attention in the right places, which I think is super good, right? Like, the most prominent thing is the start free trial button.
Yeah, especially down here, except for the fact that these colors up top match that color.
Yeah, so like that.
Maybe do a blue, which is the opposite.
Yeah, and like, I think again here, like, I think the copy and the grammar could be cleaned up a little bit. Like, start free trial, you might want to capitalize all of that. Like, it looks almost a little unprofessional. I don't mean like it looks slightly unprofessional to not have it capitalized properly.
Also, this would be cool. Like, what if you had a video playing here and a video playing on the TV in sync?
Yeah, like just really demoing that core use case of the app up top.
Yeah.
And again, this try premium thing, it's the same kind of thing we were saying with the other apps, where try premium indicates to me there's a premium tier of the app. It should be like subscribe to unlock the best version. Subscribe to unlock all of Replica or something.
I would also experiment with, like, what if you just downloaded the app and it was like it was like start your screencast, and you started it and you saw that it worked. You saw that your screen was being mirrored, and then like 5 seconds in, show them the paywall.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, you kind of need to understand the dynamics of your app and get a little creative. Like, what does the normal session for the first user look like? And then in your head, like, draw it out on a timeline. First they do this, then they do this, then they do this. Okay, where in here, if I was the user, would I be most likely to subscribe to this app?
This is definitely like well developed. You know your way around UI kit.
Yeah, I think, and it looks like he's doing a lot of testing. So he said, like, we got a certain test bucket, and like a different test bucket has a live video play. So I think that honestly is the key, right? It's just, you want to constantly be iterating and trying new things day after day, week after week, so you can get insights.
Yeah.
All righty.
Very cool.
1:30.
Alrighty. This
Great.
was a pleasure.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I think went really well. Thanks everybody for joining. Hopefully we'll do another one of these soon. If you have any feedback, feel free to Twitter DM me or Jake. And yeah, we're gonna think about what to do with the recording, whether we post this one live or we, do it again. I don't know. We're not sure.
Absolutely. Alrighty. Thanks for joining.